This is from the Wyoming Republicans Division of America. What is it? Let me get you the actual. This is the Wyoming Republican Party. Oh, I was close. You may remember yesterday we reported how Liz Cheney from Wyoming, daughter of Dick, she voted to impeach the president of the United States along with 9 other Republicans. And just to refresh your memories, Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney, John Katko, Fred Upton, Jamie Herrera Butler, Dan Newhouse, Peter Meyer, Anthony Gonzalez, Tom Rice, and David Valadeo. I want to keep those names fresh in your mind in case you missed it the first couple of days. We'll keep reminding you as we get closer and closer to primary day, or election day in 2022. But the Republican Party of Wyoming, of which Liz Cheney is still a member, they issued a press release yesterday, and here's what they had to say. The wind in Wyoming has been horrendous today, with gusts up to 65 miles per hour. That is nothing compared to the whirlwind created by Representative Cheney's announcement that she would be voting to impeach President Trump and her subsequent follow-through on doing just that. There has not been a time during our tenure when we have seen this type of an outcry from our fellow Republicans, with the anger and frustration being palpable in the comments we have received. Our telephone has not stopped ringing. By the way, in Wyoming, the Republican Party has one telephone. Most other places, they say the phones are ringing off the hook, but in Wyoming, it's small, big state, small population, so they have one telephone. Our telephone has not stopped ringing. Our email is filling up, and our website has seen more traffic than at any previous time. The consensus is clear that those who are reaching out to the party vehemently disagree with Representative Cheney's decision and actions. Considering the overwhelming interest in this issue with Wyoming Republican Party leadership, the Wyoming Republican Party leadership felt that it was important to share with Representative Cheney the nature of the comments and outcry we have received. And then they go on to list actual comments from Republicans in Wyoming whom Liz Cheney supposedly represents. That's basic. And there's a couple of them. I'll give you just an example. By announcing her decision to vote for impeachment, Representative Cheney denied President Trump due process. She judged the evidence before it was presented and refused to listen to the arguments made. Seems legit. Wyoming voted for the re-election of President Trump by a margin of 70% to 30%. 195,000 Wyomingites voted for Wyomingites. I didn't know that. I thought it would be like Wyomingers. 195,000 Wyomingites voted for President Trump. Representative Cheney is in Washington, D.C. to represent Wyoming's interest, not the interest of the Beltway elites. And then they go on and on about, we've watched the leftists and progressives burn, kill, maim, loot, and destroy cities, often with Democrat leaders egging them on, bailing them out, refusing to condemn their actions. And now she's throwing in with these people. How can you represent Wyoming and throw in with these people who have been so supportive of rooting and riots and all that kind of stuff? Representative Cheney has aligned herself with leftists who are screaming that what happened last Wednesday is the worst thing ever in our history, or similar such claims. That is absurd, and shows that their lack of knowledge of history, as well as their willingness to skew the facts to further their corrupt agenda. I'd like to pause there for a moment, and I'd like to reiterate that point, because there is an overwhelming abundance of ridiculous, let's just say, I don't even know if it's like stretching the truth at this point, but the outrageous claims that this is one of the worst things to happen in our history. I've heard representatives, mostly on the left, Chuck Schumer, for example, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who pretends to be a Republican but really isn't, the guy that slept with the Chinese spy lady, Eric Swalwell, compared this to Osama bin Laden. The attacks of 9/11, the attack on Pearl Harbor, Auschwitz and the Nazi invasion of Poland, a genocide that happened throughout World War II. Even going back to the Civil War, this is nowhere near the worst thing that has happened in our history. People talk about this country being divided, and it is. But this country, we have not had any states secede from the Union in over 150 years. And that we should pat ourselves on the back for that. I mean, that's something to celebrate. This is not the worst time in American history. This country has been more divided. What happened last Wednesday was not the worst thing to happen in the history of the United States. And Donald Trump is not the worst president to have ever served. That guy is taking the oath of office on Wednesday, okay? So let's just keep that straight.